The doorbell rings. A single father opens to find a woman in an expensive suit standing on his porch. Her familiar eyes lock with his, and 20 years of memories flood back in an instant. "Hello, Jack," she says, her voice both soft and commanding. "I've come to claim what I'm owed from 20 years ago." His daughter peers around the corner, curious about their visitor, unaware that her entire life is about to change. If you're enjoying this story, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more emotional journeys that will touch your heart. Your support means everything to us. Jack Porter stood frozen in his doorway, the evening air suddenly feeling too thin to breathe. The woman before him was both a stranger and hauntingly familiar, Eliza Winters, now dressed in designer clothes with an air of authority that hadn't existed when they were 22. "Eliza," he managed, his voice barely above a whisper. "What are you doing here? How did you find me?" She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. Finding people is easy when you run a tech company worth billions. "May I come in? This isn't a conversation for your front porch." Behind him, 7-year-old Lily appeared in the hallway, clutching her stuffed rabbit. "Daddy? Who's that lady?" Jack's protective instincts flared. "Just someone Daddy knew a long time ago, sweetheart. Can you go finish your homework? I'll be there to help in a minute." Lily nodded reluctantly, her curious eyes lingering on the elegant stranger before she padded back to the kitchen table. Jack stepped aside, allowing Eliza into the modest home he'd built for himself and his daughter after Sarah's death 3 years ago. The contrast between Eliza's polished appearance and his lived-in living room with scattered toys and half-folded laundry wasn't lost on him. "You have a beautiful daughter," Eliza said, her voice softening as she glanced toward the kitchen. "Thank you," Jack replied automatically, still struggling to process her presence. "Eliza, it's been 20 years. What could I possibly owe you after all this time?" She placed her designer handbag on his coffee table and met his gaze directly. "The truth, Jack. I'm owed the truth." The weight of those words hit him like a physical blow. He gestured toward the couch, buying himself precious seconds to think. "Would you like some coffee? Or something stronger?" "Coffee is fine," she said, settling onto his worn sofa with the poise of someone accustomed to boardrooms and power lunches. In the kitchen, Jack's hands trembled as he prepared 2 mugs. Lily looked up from her math worksheet. "Is she your friend, Daddy?" Jack managed a smile. "We knew each other a long time ago, before you were born." "She looks important," Lily observed with a child's directness. "Like a princess in work clothes." Despite everything, Jack laughed. "That's one way to put it. Listen, honey, can you be my super helper and play in your room for a little while? I need to talk to Ms. Winters about grown-up things." Lily sighed dramatically but gathered her homework. "Okay, but can I have a cookie first?" "1 cookie," Jack agreed, grateful for her easy compliance. He watched her skip away, cookie in hand, before returning to the living room with 2 steaming mugs. Eliza accepted hers with a nod of thanks. "She seems well adjusted." "She's amazing," Jack said, pride momentarily overshadowing his anxiety. "Smart, kind, resilient. She's been through a lot since her mom died." "I'm sorry for your loss," Eliza said, and he could tell she meant it. An uncomfortable silence settled between them, 20 years of unspoken words filling the space. Finally, Jack set down his mug. "Why now, Eliza? After all this time?" She took a deliberate sip of coffee before answering. "My mother died last month." "I'm sorry," Jack said automatically. "Don't be. She was a difficult woman who made terrible choices." Eliza's voice was matter-of-fact. "Among her papers, I found letters. Letters about what really happened the summer we were together." Jack felt the blood drain from his face. "Eliza. She lied to me, Jack. She told me you wanted nothing to do with me or the baby. That you'd taken the money she offered and disappeared. Her composed exterior cracked slightly. But that wasn't true, was it? Jack closed his eyes, the memories he'd buried for 2 decades surging to the surface. The summer romance with the brilliant, beautiful Eliza. The unexpected pregnancy. Her sudden disappearance. The devastating letter claiming she'd terminated the pregnancy and never wanted to see him again. No, he finally said, his voice rough. That wasn't true at all. Eliza's hands tightened around her mug. Tell me everything. I need to know what really happened. Jack took a deep breath. We were so young. You had just been accepted to MIT, and I was heading to community college. When you told me you were pregnant, I was terrified but excited. I wanted to make it work. And then I vanished, Eliza said quietly. Your phone was disconnected. You weren't at your apartment. Your friends said you'd left town. The old pain colored his words. A week later, I received a letter saying you'd had an abortion and wanted to forget everything about us. That your future was too important to throw away. Eliza's composed facade crumbled completely. I never wrote that letter. My mother sent me to a wellness retreat in Vermont. It was actually a home for unwed mothers. She told me you'd taken $50,000 to walk away and never contact me again. Jack stood abruptly, pacing the small living room. She offered me money, yes. I refused it. I loved you, Eliza. And I loved you, she whispered. I gave birth believing you had abandoned us. My mother arranged a closed adoption before I could even hold the baby. A boy. Our son. The word hung in the air between them. Son. Jack had a son he'd never known about. I've spent the last 20 years building my company, thinking you chose money over our child, Eliza continued. And you've been here, thinking I chose my career over our family. Jack sank back onto the couch, overwhelmed. We were both lied to. Yes, Eliza agreed, her voice strengthening. And that's why I'm here. I've hired investigators. I've found him, Jack. Our son. Jack's heart stopped. You found him? Is he okay? What's his name? Does he know about us? His name is Nathan. He's 19, studying engineering at Stanford. A smile touched Eliza's lips. He's brilliant, like his mother, and kind-hearted, like his father. His adoptive parents are wonderful people who've given him a good life. Does he want to meet us? Jack asked, hardly daring to hope. Eliza hesitated. He's cautious. The investigators approached his adoptive parents first, who told him about me. He agreed to one meeting last month. It was complicated. He has questions, naturally. Of course he does, Jack murmured, trying to imagine what his son looked like, what his voice sounded like. I told him about you, what little I knew. That we'd been in love once. That I'd only just discovered you hadn't abandoned us. Eliza reached into her bag and withdrew a photograph, passing it to Jack with trembling fingers. Jack stared at the image of a young man with his jawline and Eliza's eyes, standing awkwardly beside her in what appeared to be a coffee shop. The physical evidence of their son, this person who existed in the world because of them, made everything suddenly, painfully real. He wants to meet you, Eliza said softly. If you're willing. Willing? Jack repeated, his voice breaking. I've missed 19 years of his life. I'd give anything for the chance to know him. A small noise from the hallway drew their attention. Lily stood there, her stuffed rabbit clutched tightly against her chest, eyes wide. Daddy, she said in a small voice. Do you have another kid? Jack exchanged a glance with Eliza before opening his arms. Come here, sweetheart. Lily approached cautiously, eyeing Eliza with newfound wariness as she climbed onto her father's lap. Lily, this is a very complicated grown-up situation, Jack began, searching for words a 7-year-old could understand. A long time ago, before I met your mommy, Ms. Winters, and I cared about each other very much. Like you and mommy cared about each other? Lily asked. Yes, like that. And we were going to have a baby together, but some things happened, and we got separated. I didn't know about the baby, and Ms. Winters thought I didn't want to be part of their lives. Lily's brow furrowed as she processed this. So you have a baby with her? Like how you and mommy had me? He's not a baby anymore, Jack explained gently. He's all grown up now. His name is Nathan, and he's 19 years old. Lily's eyes widened. That's so old. Does that mean I have a brother? The simple question, asked with a child's directness, brought tears to Jack's eyes. Yes, honey. You have a half-brother. Can I meet him? Lily asked, excitement replacing confusion. I always wanted a brother or sister. Eliza leaned forward, addressing Lily directly for the first time. Nathan is still getting used to the idea of having birth parents. But I think he would be very interested to know he has a little sister too. Lily turned her attention fully to Eliza. Are you really the boss of a whole company? Eliza smiled, genuine warmth breaking through her professional demeanor. Yes, I am. I started a technology company that helps people communicate with each other all over the world. That's cool, Lily declared. My daddy builds houses. He's really good at it. I'm sure he is, Eliza said, her eyes meeting Jack's over Lily's head. Something unspoken passed between them, acknowledgement of all they'd lost, and perhaps, a tentative hope for what might still be possible. Lily, Jack said gently, would you mind if Ms. Winters stayed for dinner? We have a lot to talk about. Lily considered this seriously. Can we have spaghetti? It's my favorite. Spaghetti sounds perfect, Eliza said before Jack could respond. And please, call me Eliza. As Jack prepared dinner with Lily's enthusiastic help and Eliza's surprisingly comfortable presence in his kitchen, the weight of 20 years of misunderstandings began to lift. They shared stories, Eliza of building her tech empire from nothing after graduating MIT, Jack of his journey from construction worker to successful small business owner, both of them navigating life as single parents in different ways. After Lily went to bed, they sat on the back porch with glasses of wine, planning how to move forward. Nathan had agreed to meet Jack the following weekend. Eliza would stay in town until then, working remotely from her hotel. I never stopped thinking about you, Jack admitted as the night grew late. Even when I was married to Sarah, who was wonderful and whom I loved deeply, there was always this question mark about what happened with us. I channeled all my hurt into ambition, Eliza confessed. I thought if I became successful enough, powerful enough, I could fill the hole left by you and our child. It never worked. And now? Jack asked, hardly daring to hope. Eliza looked at him, vulnerability replacing her CEO confidence. Now I think we have a chance to reclaim what was stolen from us. Not the years, those are gone. But maybe a future. For Nathan's sake, at first. And then, who knows? Jack reached across the space between them, taking her hand. I'd like that. The meeting with Nathan was awkward, emotional, and beautiful. The young man had Jack's quiet strength and Eliza's analytical mind. He asked difficult questions and listened carefully to their answers. He showed them pictures of his childhood, shared stories of his adoptive parents, good people who had supported his decision to meet his birth parents. I'm not looking for new parents, he told them honestly. But I've always wondered where I came from. Who I am. And maybe we could get to know each other. When he met Lily, who immediately bombarded him with questions and declared him the best big brother ever, after just 5 minutes, Nathan's careful reserve cracked into genuine laughter. Over the following months, they built something new, not the family they might have been 20 years ago, but something equally valuable. Nathan visited during school breaks. Eliza extended her stay in town, eventually renting an apartment nearby. Jack and Eliza moved cautiously toward each other, rediscovering the connection that had never truly died. 1 year after Eliza appeared on Jack's doorstep, they sat together on that same porch, watching Lily and Nathan play catch in the backyard. "I never imagined this," Eliza admitted. "When I found those letters, I was so angry. I came here looking for closure, maybe even revenge. And instead?" Jack prompted, taking her hand. "Instead, I found what I was owed after all." She smiled, leaning against his shoulder. "Not just the truth, but a second chance. A family." Jack kissed her forehead, watching their children, the daughter he'd raised and the son he was getting to know, laughing together in the golden afternoon light. "Some debts," he said softly, "are worth waiting 20 years to collect." If this story touched your heart, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more emotional journeys that remind us it's never too late for second chances. Share in the comments if you've ever experienced a moment where the past and present collided in unexpected ways. Your support helps us continue bringing these stories to life.